you don't fix you, you're just going to keep chucking change into all these other buckets that aren't going to fix the inside.
All right, guys, I want to introduce you to Kayla Hotelling. I will always say you know what? I mostly call you by your last name, just so you know, whenever I ask Jenna about updates. One of our awesome strong moms just had a great conversation prior to recording, which I almost just went to press record, but I did. And I'm super excited for you guys to hear her story. I'm more excited because I understand her story, maybe from a personal level, but I know she's going to help a lot of moms out there. So Kayla, welcome. And can you give a quick little bio so moms get to know you a little bit?
Sure. I am Kayla. I am a mom of two, which they are older kids now. They're both girls, so 11 and going to be 14. So I call it the hard years, but I think all years are hard, but we're in that hormonal time, which is always fun. And I work full time. I get to work from home, which is really nice, but busy with doing that and then running the girls all over the place with their sports as well. So pretty busy. And I'm married to a really good guy.
Awesome guy. All right. Can you let everybody know, in your own words, or wherever you want this to go, but where were you before Strong Mom? Like that journey of where you were and how you kind of found us.
Oh, this one's kind of a strange journey, I suppose. I don't know how I found you. Before Strong Mom, I had a really rough year, which I think is kind of true for everybody. It was COVID year. So if you think about it, it was 2020-ish. That whole year was rough on everybody. Myself, I struggle in general with just depression, but for some reason, I really struggled in that year. So like January of 2020 through the summer, it just kind of went downhill for me. And then I found Strong Mom. Like I said, I'm not really sure how. It just kind of showed up on my Facebook feed. A couple of times I saw Lauren's face.
Stalking
and I'm like,
you.
I don't know who this lady is. And then it showed up again. And so I clicked on it and read a little bit. And I didn't do anything actually. But of course I clicked. So I think the algorithm found me back later. But I was actually fairly depressed, actually to the point where I was suicidal. I had a plan. I had gone to my doctor, I want to say a day or two before, and he wanted to admit me for my suicidal ideations. I told him no. I told him I was too busy. I couldn't get 2 weeks off of work because I had too many patients to see. So it wasn't going to fit into my schedule. So we needed to come up with a different plan. So I promised him I wouldn't hurt myself, and then found a therapist that I got into, but it wasn't going to be for like 3 weeks, and then a psychiatrist, which wasn't going to be for like a month. But I gave my word that I wasn't going to do anything. And then over the weekend, which was Labor Day weekend, I was mindlessly going through Facebook again and found your post again. And I did a little research stalking you and Dave, which I read your story more, which talked about your postpartum depression and you being a pitcher, which I was a pitcher in high school. So that kind of linked me up, which made me, I don't know, connection a little bit. And then I had postpartum depression with my first daughter for a couple of years, but I was all better. You know, I was on meds and I was doing better, and I had been fine for the last 10 years. So, you know, I thought I was fixed, but I just kind of clicked the message button and said, sure, we'll do this, because if it doesn't work out, I don't know that I'll be here next week anyways, like whatever, we'll just see what happens. And then I think James is the first one that reached out to me, and I swear I don't know why he even talked to me, because he called, and I think the first thing I said was like, you're a dude. Like, why are you calling me? So he's like, yeah, I'm a guy.
Got that right.
So
Nailed it.
it was a very short conversation because I was looking for a reason not to like you guys. I was like, I don't know. I want a reason to not like you and not join. And so I don't know my reasons behind why I did what I did because I wasn't thinking straight at the time. But I stalked you guys a little bit more. And then, you have the one-on-one with Dave. And I think Dave got like a dump out of all my emotions at that point in time. And we kind of just hashed out everything. And I felt really comfortable sharing just because everything you had been through with him. So I joined after sharing my soul with Dave.
He's easy to talk to, number one.
Yes.
Number two, like we were saying before, we're jumping on the official story part for you.
Yes.
There's nothing you could have said that he hadn't heard.
True.
It's true. Like there's nothing that you could have said that would have shocked him. So I'm glad you felt comfortable. And I do need to make a note because we talked about this before. Again, I do want to make a note for everyone watching. If you see me smile and you see Kayla smile and you hear us talking about depression, we had a whole conversation before that we are trying to keep it light in terms of, because I know you said something and I smiled and I understand it's a heavy topic. Being out of it, both of us, we also know how heavy of a subject it is. And so we're going to smile. But I just want to make sure people know, because I was like finding myself smiling, knowing of the conversation that we just had. So I don't want people to think that I'm like smiling at that story,
Right. So I do and I am still actively in therapy, actively seeing my psychiatrist and working hard with both of them and my strong mom coach. So I call them my synergy team because all of them together work like phenomenally for me. So I don't know that one piece by themselves would probably have gotten me to where I am. But having all the pieces together really have gotten me where I am. It's
the who, like we say that it's the who, right? Like it's the who, not the how. Who can help me? Who could put the puzzle pieces together?
Right.
How are you feeling now? So wait, how long? So all you ended up going, obviously getting all your appointments. How, you've been with us, you said 5 months.
I think it's been about 5 months. I joined right after Labor Day. So it's been about 5 months that I've been with you guys. And it feels like forever.
It totally does. I know, to 100% in the best way. Like it feels.
Yes. I feel like I was always saying like, I feel like when I miss my calls or I miss the coaching calls, I feel like I'm missing like getting together with my friends over Zoom. So
I was just going to say that. I don't know if it was a conversation I was having with someone individually or if it was on one of these, I don't remember, but maybe it was. I think it was, when I was chatting with Hillary about her journey, you really feel like, I feel like we have known everybody for a really long time. And it's just like your crew. That's the vibe. She has the same feelings. And so did I. I'm like, yeah, till you get on, you see the names, you see the faces. And cause she was saying it's remote, meaning it's virtual. We have people from everywhere, but it doesn't feel disconnected at all.
It doesn't. It doesn't. You feel like you get to know everybody's little, I don't know, quirks, because I'm quirky. So like you get to know the little quirks that people talk about and their wins from the week before, and you root for them and cheer for them. And if they're struggling, you help them through their struggles, and they become your tribe, which is awesome.
I know. I'm glad you feel that way, because we do on our end. So I love hearing when moms have that exact same feelings. I'm like, they're picking up what we're putting down, but it's not us. It's like everybody. And I think
everybody does.
That's the thing, right? Is I always think good people find good people, and the people in our tribe like you said, they root for you. And
they do.
We say that to moms. We're like, you put your arms around everybody and say, hey, I got you. You hold everyone up. You make sure everything. When was the last time you had people put their arms around you and say, hey, I got you? And it's a foreign feeling because we normally don't have that. We're usually the ones patchworking everything together.
And I think that's really a cool thing about the inner circle or once you're in, is because so much of the time you feel like you're holding it all up on your own, and you don't really have a place to just be like, I got to talk to somebody about this. I need to, like, I'm struggling with, it could just be, maybe it's nutrition, maybe it's getting your workouts in, maybe I'm slipping back a little bit in my depression. Like maybe something is happening and I just need somebody to, I don't know, just write it down. I need to dump it out so it's out of my system. And that's a safe place to do it. And you can either get ideas or get support. And where before, like, it might be family where you feel like you're burdening, because that seems to be a feeling you get when you try and share it with your family, or everyone seems too busy to take care of your problems and you're so busy taking care of everybody else's problems. So that part I think is really neat, because I see the other moms posting those things and I post those things too. So
yeah, no, but you're right. I remember, and I don't remember who it was, but she just posted and she said, wow, just getting it out. She's like, I already feel better. And then you get all the diamonds dropped and you get the people like, hey, you got this. Or you get the, hey, when that happened to me,
yeah.
And it's just getting it out and having people go, hey, I get you. Yeah. Not every day is going to be rainbows and butterflies. It'd be great if it was, but that's just not life.
It's not life.
Yeah. And we have to find ways to work through it. And then people they're solution focused in terms of like, hey, how can we get you out of here? I think that's another reason why I love the crew so much, is you got to figure out like, okay, like what this person did this, cool, let's try that. Right. And if you're in there, you're obviously open to trying. Just, can you let everybody know how you're feeling? I know it's the synergistic, but just anything that people can get out of how your journey's gone, at least on our side, from the Strong Mom side.
So journey wise, Strong Moms wise, I, as a person, I think I'm completely different than I was 5 months ago. I went back to school. Like I started classes a few weeks ago. So as a career path right now, I'm in the medical field. I've been doing that for 15 years. Not my passion. I'm not going to like pat myself on the back, but I'm decent at it. I'm okay. I'm good at what I do, but it's not what I love. I went into the career because it's what my family wanted me to do. When I was 18 years old, this is what you should do. And at 18, I was a rule follower and okay, I'm not going to ruffle feathers. And that's kind of how I've always lived my life. Through Strong Mom, I've learned that doesn't serve me. And all these rules that I've had, like who put them there and why do I have to have them there? And I can let go of a lot of the things that I used to follow that don't bring me joy or make me happy. So I've always been a creative person. I wanted to go to art school when I was in high school. That's what I was going to do when I was told art was not a career. It was a hobby, which did not set well with me, but I also didn't want to like ruffle feathers and, break a relationship when I was 18 years old because I didn't know any better. And of course, now having a family and raising them, it's not like you have time to have art as a hobby. So I started art classes a few weeks ago. It's just art history right now, but I'm learning about art history. But I'm eventually going to end up with an associate's degree in art, which I'm super excited about. And I've started writing poetry again, and drawing pictures and just coming up with ways to bring my creative side back out. So on a personal, like inside level, which I think is huge for me, I've just learned how to find me again. And my kids see it, which is awesome. My oldest is like, Mom, when do you start school? When are your classes? Can I sit in on with you? Because they're online. So she's really excited about it. And my youngest is kind of the same way. She's not quite as excited, but so they see the difference, and just knowing that I'm here and present more versus like I gotta be here, I gotta do this, I gotta check. I make a point to choose the things I want to do, and when we do it for a reason, and that's very helpful. Nutrition wise, I've struggled my whole life with nutrition choices and food. I've followed every diet plan. Well, not every, but 80% of the diet plans that are out there. And it's not that I haven't been successful at losing weight with them, because I follow plans. I'm a black and white. You do it this way, you lose the weight, but then I never knew what to do after. So I got lost. But with the way Strong Moms built, it's not a plan per se. You just learn how to live. I got, like, when I started, I was not in a place to take on anything that was complicated at all. Like, I couldn't get out of bed. So the team really worked with me to be like, okay, we're just gonna have you follow eating off a list. That's it. Nothing else. You don't have to worry about anything else. And honestly, I still only eat off a list. I never progressed beyond that at all, because it's what I'm comfortable with. I'm like a square in a circle, like what is it? A square in a peg hole? Oh, however you do that. Like, I'll always be that person that doesn't quite fit the mold, but kind of. But I've had really good success. Just for you guys, I weighed myself this morning and I'm down 21. So yeah, just for you guys. I'm not a big scale person because the scale and I don't get along very well. So it usually throws me off. But I was like, today I'm going to do it because I want to know where I'm at for this call. So yeah, so I'm down 20 and I haven't tried.
Well, thanks. You didn't have to do that for us.
I know I didn't have to.
I wasn't going to ask. I like our moms to talk about what they want. Some people say,
but they like to know. And I know that that's an important thing for a lot of people. And I'm a people pleaser. I'm working on it. But I know that's important to a lot of people. And that'll come into play for a lot of people's decisions. But honestly, I haven't had to work on it because I literally don't do complicated things with my diet.
Can I just make a joke too right now?
Yeah.
So like whether it's an email or a post in the Facebook group, if I'm talking about like being better and more present and all of the things that I know make your life better, it's freaking crickets. If I'm like, do you want to learn how to lose 20 pounds? I get like flooded. Like,
yeah.
Lord. I always have that issue. And I've said this on a couple of other calls. I have that issue of being like, I have to say it because I know that's what people want to hear. But in my brain, I'm like, if we can get you in because you want to lose weight, I promise we'll change your life. Like I'm going for changing your life.
The truth. It is so the truth. And I mean, everything I've done and everything I've followed, it's not that I didn't lose weight. I've always gained it back with friends. And I think anyone who's done a diet plan can tell you they've lost weight if they followed it, but they gained it back with friends. Because you never just gain back what you lost. You gain back in friends. And so honestly, part of my depression cycle has always been revolved around my weight and revolved around my scale. So I hide my scale. I don't, like, my whole, like, since I was 17, 16, like, my life revolved around what went in, how much went in, what that scale said. And it told me if I was worth things or not things. And, was I good that day? Was I bad that day? Was I successful or not successful? And all of those things were the things that were going in my head. But now I don't even care. Like, I stepped on a scale today and I was like, okay. Which before I would have been like hyperventilating, like if this number isn't down, I have failed, or if it's up, I might as well throw the towel in and just start eating whatever the hell I want because whatever I'm doing is not working anyways. And then I would have fallen off. So I know that even though weight's important, health is important. Like the weight isn't the issue.
Thank you for saying that. And again, this is why I like other people, because we'll say all the time, I'm like, it's not losing weight's quote unquote easy. Like there's a million different ways you can lose weight. It's not the losing of the weight. It's the percentage of people that can sustainably keep it off. And when I say
I've lost 20 pounds. I don't know how many times in my life, but I've gained 20 pounds that many times minus one.
That's right. I mean, no, thank you for weighing yourself. And that's another thing for everyone that's watching. Like we have people who the scale is their friend and they get on there and the way that their brain processes it and that the emotions that come in are completely different than others. And so others were like, put that thing away. Like, and if it doesn't help you, like we're going to focus on the things that help you. And at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not even kidding. Oh my gosh, Kayla, if you see emails and guys, if you see me write you an email, I see them, I write them, and then I see your responses. It will be like, me trying to do my best to get across that we will help you have a better life. You will be more confident. You will be more calm. Like you will be more present. All of the things that we know, or I believe matter, right? Whereas weight's an external thing. And I will literally get like a message back, and then it's just kind of like, okay, I'm just going to throw this out here. Who wants to see, how our mom lost 25 pounds and I'm like 58 emails in the first 3 hours. And I'm like, holy smokes, this is just people want to see that. And then on one hand, I'm like, I get it because it is health and it is confidence. Like our body's a filter, that like our body is a filter. Right. You wake up and you have pain. And that's the first thing you're thinking about at 6 a.m. is like, oh, I got to get out of bed. You're immediately, looking at through a life of pain. So I agree. Like it's health and I believe in all health, but I just wanted to say, I'm glad you said that because I laugh, or I'll put a post in the Facebook group, like who wants to lose weight without focusing on losing weight? And it'll be like 100 comments. And then if I say something else about who wants to, I don't know, something about mindset. Right. I'm like,
but I sat there and I thought, because when I don't want to say I prep for this, but I'm an anxious type of person in general. So like, I thought about some things that I'm like, these are real important. And these are things that I wish I would have known before. Because every other time that I've done a quote unquote diet plan, I either had to count things, calories, macros, points. I had to eat food out of a package, which tasted like cardboard, and like, it felt like I was depriving myself. It felt hard. And yeah, I lost weight because I was having a calorie deficit, but it was hard and I had to do a lot of work. Like I did spreadsheets and did macros to get I was one of those people that was hours on end calculating how many of everything I should have. And, because when I'm doing something, I'm a rule follower, I'm going to do it. But then I just never knew how to turn it off. So at that point, I couldn't live. And so, yeah, you could say I want to lose weight because I always have wanted to lose weight because that's always been a primary focus in my life, but it's always made me miserable to try and do it. So this time around, I'm like throwing everything in and just gonna do it a different way because never, like every time I've done it the other way, it didn't stick. So
well, that's the thing, right? Like, and I know you've heard me talk about this. If all we focus on is weight loss, you're missing life. So if we focus on you and just making more like lowering stress, making better decisions, then you focus on you, you feel better. And then all of a sudden you step on a scale and you're like, oh, it's 21 pounds gone. What, like, to me, and again, it's sustainable, right? Like I personally would rather go through life enjoying my life and having something be a byproduct as a beneficiary, like weight loss, as opposed to let's just constantly think about the thing that we don't like about ourselves. If I don't like my weight, then I'm going to wake up every day and be like focused on that one thing. Like it's just backwards to
it
me.
is. And it was literally killing me, because it would keep feeding into that cycle of my worth and my self-worth and my ability to be a good person.
Right.
So once I don't know, I guess once I decided that I was going to not let that be my ruler, and I put it away and let myself focus on what I needed to focus on, which was me, I was able to actually find joy and happiness and see the things that I haven't seen in years.
Thanks for sharing.
So like that part I think is huge.
Huge. You know what else is huge that I totally skipped over because I didn't want to interrupt you, but like, I think people forget as we get older and you have your quote unquote rules and memos and other people's ideologies that we have to live by, that finding things like you going back to art class, finding things that truly bring you joy, it brings you joy. And then that joy does filter out into all other areas of your life, right? Like you taking that art class, to me, when I found out, and obviously I know your poetry, but when I found that out, I'm like, that, like, to me, I'm like, that's what it's about. She's truly filling her cup, not with things that people tell her that she should do, or living a life in a way like, and whatever comes of this, it is your call, but you're deciding, it's your decision. You're your own person to fill your cup with things that really, really like light you up. And we lose that. We lose that for sure.
We lose it and we hide it, or we decide to put it aside for so long. And that's, I mean, it's ultimately what I did for 20 some years. I just followed what I was supposed to do.
Well, I'm really glad that you're.
And nobody, like, no one should be able to tell me what I'm supposed to do in my life but me.
And that's where we want to get to, right? That's what I try and explain to mom. I've been open with my journey. You know, I had more people than you would think give me you're going back to play softball. Like, don't you have a family? And like the classic, I've got this a few times. Oh, I could never do that. And they're not trying, but the way it comes across is it's a judging. I could never do that. And I'm like, I just say, maybe you couldn't, and that's not, what you want to do for your family. But for me, like the highest form of myself is training and having that fulfill my cup. Will it be there forever? No. But will I pursue what sets my heart on fire at that moment? For sure. And I really, I think we talk about this, like quality and quantity. My quality time went up tenfold in every aspect of my life because I knew I had to get it together. But everybody else has their own idea of what works for them, and that's fine. So then they can go do that. But I got that a few times, like, oh, I could never do that.
What are you going to do with it? And I'm like, I don't know. It's probably going to take me 8 years to get it done because I have a family and I'm working full time, but I'm doing it. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it when I'm done. And it doesn't matter. Yeah. Because it makes me happy.
Exactly. Totally.
We'll see. I mean, by that time I might be able to retire. I don't know. But
it's your call, and you're doing something along the lines of the things that make you happy.
Exactly.
Again, like those and the poems and just the creative side that has been suppressed or hidden, for so long. Is so cool. Thank you for sharing that. All right. I got my one last question. Remember my one last question? We do have a lot of moms that are like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And they're on the fence. So what would you let any moms know that are on the fence?
So this one I thought about
You don't say.
because I'm a thinker. And there were two things that I think are the things that would, if I would have been thinking straight at the time when I found you guys, which I wasn't. I honestly, I just said sure and paid the money. And afterwards I was like, oh crap, what did I do? And I went on a walk with my daughter and then I saw 3 rainbows and I said, oh, I must have done the right thing because I saw 3 rainbows and that must be a sign. And then I just didn't worry about it anymore. And that's really not my normal. My normal is like, I have to have all my ducks in a row. Is usually it comes down to like, financially, can I do it? Time, can I do it? And every other thing that I've ever done in my life for weight loss, which shouldn't be my comparative, but is going to be your comparative because that's what we do, is would I be able to do it in the time that's allotted to me? Because I always put limits on myself. Like, how much am I going to lose in so much time? And I think that that needs to be remembered that you can't really put a limit on who you're going to become. So that needs to be broken because it just does. The other thing with the money is I actually sat down and I told Jenna this the other day. I said, I sat down and figured out how much money I spent on like weight loss products and diets and exercise programs and everything over the last 3 years. And it was over $5,000. And that didn't include like any books I had bought or other supplements I had bought. And I was like, I would just keep still buying those things. And a lot of those things you would have to continue to do. And I had quit doing them. So I would have had the money would have continued to go up and up and up. So in the grand scheme of things, you can pay the money, change your life, and you'll have a lifetime of being able to be who you want to be. Because you're gonna be spending the money anyways. I mean, you are, it's just gonna be over a longer period of time because if you don't fix you, you're just gonna keep chucking change into all these other buckets that aren't gonna fix the inside.
I don't even know what to say right now.
Because that I was like, I spent the amount of money I spent on stuff that was like just food. Or the amount of money I spent on like a gym membership, which I work out at home now, which you can go to a gym if you want. It doesn't work for me. I work out at home because I can do it quickly and like my running from 18 different places and I fit it in and it works better for me. But I mean, if I cut all of those things out, those are all prices that you're going to end up paying in the future anyways. So that's what I came up with. I was like, I was going to spend the money anyways. I think it's just scary because it's like a chunk versus spread over time. But I had spent that money plus some over the last couple of years and was unsuccessful. I'd lost and gained and lost and gained and lost and gained the same 15 to 30 pounds.
And we're miserable.
Was miserable and suicidal. Which I'm not laughing at suicide, but you know exactly what I mean.
No, and I again.
But now I have the tools to see when I'm straying, see when I'm starting to get a little anxious or when I'm starting to get a little bit down. I can see it and I can take 2 steps back and I can go into my habits and I can go into my toolbox and I can reach out to you or Jenna, or I can reach out to my therapist and I could be like, hey, and I can stop it. But there's been in these last 5 months, probably 2 or 3 times I probably would have quit before. I would have quit. It would have been 3 years later before I would have had the guts to join again, do something, a challenge or a weight loss program or something. So that puts me 12 years from now, at least 30 pounds up, if not more, because it takes me that long to come out of a funk or a depression where it was a week. and I just was in a funk, and I was able to take my foot off the gas pedal and be like, just need to back off for a little bit.
Do you know what's really cool too? So, and why I like that we have longer term relationships, because we're relationship based, right? People will be like, well, how do I know I'm just not going to be a number? And I'm like, I don't know how to.
You're not a number.
But here's the cool part, because I remember, because we get to work with you guys for a long period of time. I remember the first time that Jenna was like, uh-oh, like we're losing her. Uh-oh, like, you know, because you had gone into just a little rough patch, which is fine. But again, like, it's like that for us the first month. And as we get to know people, we get to actually know you. And the coolest part now is now there's on our end, it's like, okay, we got her, and we know, and you know that we have you. And I think you do have to get through that part, right? You have to get through that part where you feel each other out. And it happens with everyone, especially when you first start. We need to learn you. We need to understand where you're going. We need to understand when things go off the rails, what happens, because it's going to happen. Like I still have to say to myself, and the train's rolling right off the tracks right now. Like get back on. And it's not easy, but I like it, because there have been a couple moments where even if I'm like, remember, I've reached out to you a long time, and Jenna's like, not now. But it wasn't not now. I'm nervous. It's not now. We need to work through things. And that is a completely different place to be from a coaching standpoint, from like a support standpoint, because there is that moment of learning. And so when you say that, you know, there's been a couple times, it's exciting to me because, you know, especially the way Jenna understands you, there's like it's okay. Give her an extra day, give her 2 extra days. Like she's fine, as opposed to full on panic, red flags, and then hands in the air, or, you know, just, and then gone, you know? So I just wanted to say that, because a lot of people, again, they don't know what we do. And we do, again, you know, how do I know that you're ever going to know my name, or that I'm not just a number? How do I know you're not just going to take my credit card number and then we're never going to hear from you again? And I'm like, I promise that won't happen, but watch more stories so other moms can tell. It's not me saying it. Other moms can say it, you know?
No, I always tell Jenna when I do my calls with her, because I think I've been probably more consistent on those calls. Like I make a point that I do check-in calls. At the beginning, I did them every single week, and then I dropped to every other week. And I'm sure there's people who don't do them. I'm sure there's people who only do them like once a month, but it's really important to me to do those. And so that's probably why she knows me so well. But it is a lot of what you put into it. So it's a lot of what you put into yourself. But you guys teach us how to do that.
Yeah, you're right. We say all the time, we say we have 100% success rate for those that actually do the program and actually do the work, you know?
But there's no timeline. There's no timeline. Like you can do it at your own pace. Like I'm a pokey puppy. I do it at my own pace because there's always detours and things that happen. And the most important thing is that you stay the course, not bail ship.
Totally. No, but it's true. And it is. And we tell people that, you know, and there's some moms who are like, oh, you know, they're nervous and they're like, well, I'm just not going as fast. I'm like, listen, there is no timeline. Like we all work on our own schedule, and some people need to, when we calm the chaos, some people need to calm the chaos, you know, literally their environment in order to even be able to start working. Other people need to immediately start going like just inward, and everyone's different. And that's why, you know, that's why I do like it as a longer term. Cause we actually, I always tell people, I'm like, guys, the first month, if there's going to be some freakouts here and there. And we tell people there's going to be, you're going to feel lost. We're not telling you what to do. We're getting to know you. That's two completely different things. And of course, giving guidance, but like when we ask questions, you know, our job is to ask the questions. You guys have the answers.
They're in there.
They're in there. They really are. And you lived your life. And that's, again, you have your own unique story. Like you live your life, you have the answers. Our job is to ask the right questions and support you along that way. But, no, thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks for having me. Finally got our fireside chat.